At the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the people of Medina, the wonderful people of Medina, the Ansar, they used to grow dates and they had date farms. Now, the people who had date farms, when the time came for harvest, the dates were ready and nice, and it was time to be harvested. They would take the best of the dates and they had put a rope around the masjid between the two pillars of the masjid, and they would go and hang entire branches of dates on this rope between the pillars. So any poor person can come and eat from these dates in the masjid. They don't have to ask anybody. They don't have to beg for anybody. It's right there. Nice, best of the dates from their farms. But there were some companions who wouldn't take the best, the very best, but they would take some dates which were maybe a little lesser in quality, which weren't the best ones. And they thought it's okay. They were still giving charity. It wasn't like, oh, we don't want to give. They were still taking the dates from their lot and putting them up in the masjid for the poor people to eat. And they thought it's okay. We can sell the very best ones and we will take these ones. So they took them and they hung them in the masjid. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then revealed this ayah about them.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا أنفقوا من طيبات ما كسبتم ومما أخرجنا لكم من الأرض ولا تيمموا الخبيث منه تنفقون ولستم بآخذيه إلا أن تغمضوا فيه واعلموا أن الله غني حميد الشيطان يعدكم الفقر ويأمركم بالفحشاء والله يعدكم مغفرة منه وفضلا والله واسع عليم.
Meaning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no need for our charity. He doesn't need it. We are the ones who need to give charity. So when we give and we give for the sake of Allah, we should not be giving anything less than the very, very best. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminded the Ansar, don't keep the best for yourself and give the lesser ones in charity. Now, do we do that sometimes? When we give charity, do we give our best clothes, our new clothes, our nice clothes, or do we just give away the old ones that we don't want anymore, that we have worn like so many times already, that don't fit anymore? Which ones do we give for the sake of Allah? Do we give the very best ones or the ones we don't want anymore? When we give food, do we give the waste food and that's food that we don't want anymore, or the best like the one we eat? And similarly, when you share with others, your siblings or your friends, do you give to your siblings and your friends the best of what you have, whatever things you have, or whatever you think, oh, I'll keep the best and I'll give them the whatever? If we are sharing for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we should be giving the very best. We are the ones who need to give charity. Allah doesn't need your charity. You need to give it for your own sake. So give the best so you get the best back. Allah doesn't need you to give charity. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted, He could have made everyone rich, right? It's easy for Him to do that. But instead, He gave some things to some and didn't give to others. And then He asked the ones who had to share from what Allah had given them with others who don't have. Very easily, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could give it to them Himself. But instead, He made it a test for us. Will you share and give, or will you be stingy? If you give them, He will give you even more, many times more. And if you're stingy, then you are the only one who actually lost. Allah didn't need your charity. Allah is Al-Ghani. He is free of all need. He is the one who gave you. And Allah doesn't even need you to feed the poor people or give to others or share with others. He can give it to them Himself. So easy for Him. He had given you an opportunity, which when we don't give or we give really poorly, we lose that opportunity. And to encourage us to use this opportunity, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls it a loan to Him. So when you are giving charity, you are not giving to the poor person or the one you are sharing with, but rather you are actually giving a loan to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is massive. How could we human beings give Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a loan? He is the owner of everything. He owns everything. He is Al-Ghani. He doesn't need anything. He doesn't need a loan. But still, He's asking you, give me a loan. That is, give charity, and that is a loan to me. This is an example of how full of mercy Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is towards us. How He wants you to be in Jannah. He wants you to earn the reward. He wants you to get more of the good things in this world and the next. So He tells you to encourage you so you can give fearlessly without thinking, oh no, if I give it away, I'm going to lose it. I will never have it again. It's just going to go away. Allah is encouraging you to give without being afraid that give me a loan and I will give you back many, 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 many times more. Subhanallah. This is the promise of Allah to you, that when you give, when you share, Allah will give you back many times more back. So we are not afraid when we are giving that we are losing it, but instead we give fearlessly. We are winning back many times more. So remember that next time your mom cuts the cake or divides something between you or your siblings or friends, we always kind of look for which is the best one. I want to keep the best one. But do you want to be that person who keeps the best for your own self? Or do you want to be the one who sees the best one? Which is the best one? That's the one I want to give away. That's the one I want somebody else to have. So I get many times more back. And I am hoping for the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when you do that, when you give from the best you have, that's when there is a lots more waiting for you. But if you are stingy and you just want to keep the best for yourselves and just give the whatever, and you're scared to give, you give, but you give like, don't know if I want to give it. Okay, you can have it. If you're stingy and afraid to give, Allah doesn't need your charity. You need it. So if you give from the best, you will get back many times more of the best. And if you try to be stingy in giving, then remember, that's what you're gonna get back. You are the one who needed to give. Kind of like you are only being stingy to your own self. You have yourself made yourself a loser. Because the more you would have given, the more you would have got back. And the less you're giving, the less you're gonna get back. Or in fact, if you're really stingy and you encourage others to be stingy, then Allah, whatever He has given you from it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala might even take it back from you. Give fearlessly, give with gratitude to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving you so much. The only way you are going to be a winner in this world and the next is when you are not afraid to give. You give fearlessly. Give and give and give without any fear of losing. You don't withhold. You don't just try to keep it for yourself. You open your arms, you open your hands, and you just give and give. And you know that ultimately the only one who is really benefiting from you giving, you sharing, is not the person you're giving to, but you, your own self. So give from the best you have and give fearlessly. Don't be afraid of giving or sharing.